Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Carter Walton and Daphne Rose will celebrate once they make this collaboration functionary. It'll bring some close moments as Daphne purrs to Carter about how happy she's to be working together. Carter and Daphne might indeed pop open a bottle of bubbly at Daphne's request. Daphne and Carter could toast to this successful cooperation, so we'll see where Hope Logan fits by all this. Could Hope find herself feeling like a stranger looking in? Hope might catch Carter and Daphne having a little private party for two, so perhaps she could witness some flirting and end up taken suddenly. Of course, Hope might stuff down any covetousness and tell herself there's nothing to worry about. Carter will no doubt do some celebrating with Hope at some point too, so she might push away any enterprises that bubble up about Daphne. Still, Steffy Forrester will come decreasingly convinced that her plan is working like a charm. The nearer Daphne pulls Carter, the further Steffy's going to believe that she can pull off her scheme. It seems likely Steffy will mess with Hope's head along the way. Steffy could play mind games and add to Hope's precariousness about Daphne as this plot moves forward. Meanwhile, suckers will see the fate of the maternity reveal in Lee Finnegan's office. It looks like Lee will reel over the news that Jack Finnegan is Aunt Luna Nozawa's bio-pater. After all, but who's her real father? Prognostications allude that John Finnegan may be Luna's father rather. A wild explanation could be brewing from Poppy Nozawa ultimately, so do Aunt miss all the marvels to come. Eventually, there could be more close calls brewing at Bill Spencer's manse. How long will it take for Luna to get fractured on house arrest? Will all the maternity drama lead to Bill's secret coming out? Poppy Nozawa seems to be telling the verity, and so does Jack Finnegan. Although Lee Finnegan thinks Jack and Poppy had an affair that redounded in Luna Nozawa's generality, their denials were relatively credible. Of course, the way they're dragging this out also feels like a huge indication. It would be weird and meaningless to spend so numerous occurrences erecting up to evidence that Lee is right. That wouldn't be a big reveal since Lee has formerly been screaming about Luna being Poppy and Jack's love child. The logical stunner then's for the show to expose that Jack is not Luna's bio-pater. Which could bring one final twist in this lengthy plot. Once Lee dabs Jack and forces him into a maternity test, she'll anxiously await the results. Still, what happens coming depends on what type of maternity results Lee ends up with. Still, she may be left with moping questions about who Luna's father is, if Lee uses a simple maternity tackle that either confirms yes or no. Still, Lee could wind up indeed more confused, at least originally, if there's an factual DNA chance. That's because there's a good chance that John Finnegan is Luna's bio-pater. Jack shares DNA with Finn, so he could be a partial match for Luna and leave Lee's bus turning. During Finn's first time of counsel, he lived with his parents and had a close connection to Poppy. Since Poppy was living under the same roof and clicked with Finn during that time, there's always been enterprise among suckers that they might have hooked up. That's clearly still an option to consider, but there's a bit of a problem since Finn has no way given any suggestion that anything unhappy happened. Finn doesn't treat Aunt Poppy like a former honey. Not to mention the study that he could be Luna's father has no way crossed his mind. You'd suppose if Finn was smart enough to come a croaker, he'd add up the possibility that he could be Luna's natural father. It's possible that Finn doesn't flash back the association if medicines and booze were involved, which would add a terrible subcast to an formerly terrible story. That said, Poppy used to tell Luna that she was made from love, which doesn't fit for her mama taking advantage of Finn under the influence. Could there be another explanation, Bone? That could save Poppy from the disgusting disclosure that she slept with her anesthetized and slightly legal consanguineous whoreson? What if Finn made a sperm donation formerly upon a time that Poppy ever entered? They could always tweak some once details to make whatever explanation they want work now. Anyhow, it seems like the ploy is nearly over for Poppy, who may eventually have to come clean and partake the real story of how Luna was conceived. We know Finn and Steffy Forrester have a major handicap on the horizon, so that handicap could be Luna's maternity once the verity comes to light. Our prognostications allude that Finn's desire to step up for Luna could beget issues with Steffy. The show has offered up enough hints to make us believe that Finn's going to be Luna's bio-pater. It's just a matter of how we will make the big picture come together. Luna's maternity will be proven sooner or laterly, so stay tuned for updates on the stunning news that may be headed Finn's way. Jack Finnegan is on his way back into city. His partner, Lee Finnegan, has just indicted her family, Poppy Nozawa, of having an affair with Jack, and judging by the look on Poppy's face, it's true. Now, the real question is whether or not Jack is in fact Luna Nozawa's real father. One thing is for certain, if Poppy tells you anything at each, you're going to need to double-check to be sure it's true. It has been a time of falsehoods from her. First, she hoped that Bill Spencer was Luna's pater. But also it had to be Tom Starr. Now we know, thanks to Lee testing the DNA herself, that Tom isn't the daddy. That appears to leave Jack as a likely contender. Will Jack admit to an affair with Poppy? And indeed if he does he realize he could be Luna's natural father? Was it a long-held secret, or is he going to be just as stupefied as everyone differently? Has Poppy prevaricated to him too? I mean, is there any reason to believe that she hasn't prevaricated to him? There's one other possibility. Jack and Lee's espoused son, John Finnegan, was in council when Luna was conceived. Poppy was living with his family at the time, and we've formally verified that she likes her special mints and other medicines. What if she introduced Finn to commodity he wouldn't typically take, and they ended up in bed? The Finn that we know now would no way touch any kind of medicines, but as a fairly naive council sprat, he might have. If Finn were actually Luna's father, that would add indeed more layers to the drama and dysfunction that's formerly whirling. Before getting arrested, Luna was holding Finn's woman, Steffy Forrester, in a pen. Finn and Steffy have been through a world of pain and problems formerly, and ever the couple has survived it all. But could they get through Luna being Finn's son? Bill Spencer sprung con Luna Nozawa from jail and has her under house arrest at his manse. This is a super big secret, and the verity has nearly come out a couple of times. It seems ineluctable that someone will discover Bill and Luna's secret. His son Will Spencer suspects his pater is acting else recently, but his other son Liam Spencer also gets sus. Liam has a unique understanding of his pater. After all, they did captivity time together. Nothing bonds like stripes and bars. When Liam questions him, Bill says he just needs a breath, but Liam isn't so sure. And also there's nosy Katie Logan. She has a habit of stepping into Bill's house like she owns the place, and she formerly lived there, but that was also, and this is now. Will Katie get wind of Bill's aloofness and come over to ask him how he's doing? It's true that Bill is working from home, but he generally always has time for family. Katie could go on a rant about how Bill has been off ever since he set up out that Luna isn't his son and killed 2 men. It would be the perfect occasion for Luna to listen in, as she has done with Bill and Will. Would Katie wander in and find Luna making herself at home? The sight would shock her, and we know her heart is delicate. She doesn't have broken heart pattern, but she does have a heart transplant. How would Katie respond to seeing Luna large and in charge at Bill's house? She might jump to conclusions and suppose that Luna escaped and killed Bill. That would shoot her heart racing and could indeed beget a flare-up and further medical issues. Can you imagine how awful Bill would feel if Luna ever touched off Katie? We prognosticate that Katie ultimately finds out what Bill is over to and switches out at him. Explosive show spoilers tease that Bill runs into trouble regarding Luna's living arrangements.